Good afternoon, everybody. Phil Simons with Columbia Grain here in your Friday afternoon weekly grain market recap. Well, we got another one in the books, so let's go ahead and dive right into it and take a look and see what we actually saw this week. So I'm going to share my screen with you again here, and we're going to navigate over to our favorite website, columbiagrain.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, if we go to the Producer Solutions tab, that'll take us over to our Producer Solutions link. But realistically, when we started the week out here, we were actually started looking at the crop progress report that we're going to continue to get on every Monday going forward. When we take a look at it, we were really looking at the winter wheat conditions and the good to excellent ratings that we were seeing this week. We continue to see ratings actually quite a bit better than where we were last year at this time. Although this week we did take one step back slightly of down 1% from where we were last week. So right now we're sitting at 55% good to excellent. But again, when we compare that to how we were last year at this time at 27% good to excellent, significantly better than where we were last year. And quite honestly, when we look at the Midwest and that soft red crop, that's actually coming in at numbers that we haven't seen, quite honestly, at this good over the last 20 years. So we're continuing to see that, have more of a downward pressure on the Chicago wheat market specifically. But realistically, the balance of the week tended to actually kind of trade down really for everything. There was some happenings overnight with Israel striking Iran in some retaliation attacks targeting an Iranian city, which was actually close to a nuclear facility as well. So that did add some support here today, and we did see the markets kind of snap back. But realistically, without that, we would have closed everything down on the week. We did close corn and beans down on the week, but wheats came back a little bit with the uncertainty that we actually saw there. So let's take a look and see what we actually did see on the weekly futures price action. With corn, we actually had a weekly range of 12 cents. We actually did close the week out with a net loss of 5 cents. In new crop beans, we actually had a range of 31 cents over there. Still closing the week out with a net loss of 14 cents after coming back, pretty decently here today. And in the wheat complex, realistically, Kansas, we had a 22-cent range there. We actually did wind up the week with a net loss of 4 cents. Over in Chicago, we had a 24-cent range and actually did wind the week up with a net loss of 2 cents there. And in Minneapolis, we had a weekly range of 20 cents and actually winding the week up with a net gain of 8 cents. But again, without the activity that we saw last night or the uncertainty, the weekly losses that we saw would have been, quite a bit worse because we did come back about 10 to 12 cents in the wheat complex and about the same in beans, and corn did come back about 5 cents, 5 to 6 cents on the day here as well. So without that, the fundamentals continue to point for things to continue to drift lower. We really don't have much of a weather premium either built into the market as well. Currently, when we look at new crop conditions in just the overall price ranges. So we do see the official 30-day forecast here that was issued just yesterday. The monthly temperature outlook looks to be a little bit above normal, kind of in that upper Midwest, and along with the PNW looks to be a little bit above normal. From a temperature standpoint, and realistically in that northern tier, about equal chance of being close to normal. And same thing with precipitation. Things in the Delta do look like they could be getting a little bit above average moisture down there. But again, things right now look to be fairly benign, really not only in the U.S., but across the globe. So there really isn't much of a weather premium built into the markets right now. So again, just something to continue to monitor as we go forward. We should see a really aggressive seeding next week, quite honestly, in the U.S., and really see if the corn seeding stages actually stays in the planters and we get some of those acres back that we took away in that March 28th planting intentions. So again, something you just continue to monitor as we move forward to see, how the weather outlook continues to look in the U.S. and what that's going to mean for what actually gets planted in the ground this coming continued spring. So really with the lack of the weather premium, it's just, just be prepared to pull the trigger right on anything for new crop sales, for hedge to arrive contracts, basis contracts, or accumulator contracts. So I ran some numbers here briefly here this morning, and with the volatility, we did see a little bit of a pop in volatility. So when we look at some accumulators specifically, for new crop corn, there's some knockout accumulators that are getting, around a 40 to a 45 cent premium right now over a traditional hedge to arrive contract. New crop soybean knockout accumulator could get close to 55 to 60 cent premium to a traditional hedge to arrive contract. And when we look at new crop wheat as well, knockout accumulator is going to get close to a 45 to a 55 cent premium as well. So be sure to get a hold of your local merchandisers, managers, and buyers, and take a look at all the different commodity products that we have to help add a little bit of bottom line to your operation to see what we can do to help you out with that. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and wrap everything up here for the week. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And remember, if your strategy seems to be working, you haven't used it long enough. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.